back to Cosplay on a Budget. I'm your host, Ms. Cosplay, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how I made my Steampunk Fairy wings. Now this tutorial can be modified to make bigger or smaller wings, and it can also be modified to fit whatever type of fairy you're making. I just made steampunk because the outfit I was going for was a steampunk fairy, but without further ado, let's get on to the video. So the first thing that I did was I laid down on this piece of like poster board that I have, and I had my mother just trace around the one side of me all the way down to my hips, and then I just drew out the wing shape that I wanted, and I kind of went for like Tinkerbell's wing shape as well as like the veining and stuff like that, just not as detailed. And I did that first with pencil, and then I went over it with marker. 2 hangers to make the top wing, and it only took 1 hanger to make the bottom wing. So I went ahead and made one side using this as the template, and then I made the other pair of wings to match the first pair of wings, just in case they were a little bit off from this, they wouldn't be any different. So once I had my wings shaped, I went ahead and just kind of twisted the wires together in the middle, but mainly like duct taped them together because there wasn't that much wire that stuck off. And as you can see, the 2 wires where they met, I twisted them together and then also put a little bit of duct tape just to make sure they held together. And so next up, we're going to be adding the pink fabric, there's my dog, the pink fabric to just this set of wings, and then we'll be adding our tan fabric to this set of wings. Okay, so these are the wings so far. So what I did was I took 2 pieces of this sort of see-through pink fabric and glued it all along the wire on the top and bottom wing on this side. And then this was just a like tannish colored pillowcase that I cut up and glued along this side. And what I did was I just took and made small slits and then just glued it, wrapped it around and glued it down on both wings here. And so now we're going to start putting all the veins in. Okay, so these are the different veins for inside the wings, and I just made them out of poster board, and I made opposites of each one because I'm going to be sandwiching the wings with them. So I have the silver, and it's slightly sparkly. I don't know if you can really see it on camera, but it's slightly sparkly. These are going to be for the pink wing, and then these that I've actually made little clocks with some more poster board and some foam board and some craft foam and everything. These are going to be for the steampunk wing. And then I've also taken 1-inch strips of fun foam and I heat set it, and when I did that it kind of curved, which is going to help me because these are going to go along the edges of each of the wings. So the silver of course is for the pink wing and the gold is for the steampunk wing. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing these all on the wings, and I will show you what the wings look like once this is all on it. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through what I did to finish off the wings since somehow the footage got completely deleted. But so after I made all the veins and the coverings and everything like that for the wings, I just went ahead and hot glued them on. And for the steampunk wing, I actually took a hole punch and some of the foam that I had used, and I punched out a bunch of little dots and then painted them gold to match, and then glued them along some of the veins, but mostly around the edges here to kind of look like rivets and everything. So this is that side, and then this is the natural wing side. As you can see, I have the veins on both the front and the back of the wing. Now, I also put some fabric right here. Grab this right here to cover up the duct tape that I had put there. And so next up, I was trying to figure out how to go about actually wearing these. So what I did was I took some belts and I just sewed them not only to this part down here through the duct tape and everything like that. So I took and sewed the belt through this little piece down here, but even then it was still kind of pulling backwards, so I also sewed the belts up here on the wing. And how I did that was just pretty much sewing around the wire that's on the outside here, or the wire frame, and then I kind of went into like the wing part a little bit, but that was pretty much how I got it to stay upright on my back instead of falling backwards. So I did that on either side, and then I also added this belt right here on the bottom, and this is just sewn on the wing right here, right there, and on the other side as well, and that way it just comes around front and kind of helps hold the wing onto me a bit better. So this way I just have two belts around there, and then the one around my stomach. So after all that was done, I felt that the back needed something else. So I took and put this. This is actually like one of the lanterns you would put outside and put like a little tea light in it. It's metal. And I found this for a couple bucks at my local Goodwill. So actually on the inside of this, I took a music box and I just glued it to the inside. First I unscrewed this part and stuck it through one of these holes. Now the hole might have to be a little bit bigger. I actually had to go along one of these holes with my Dremel just to kind of make it a little bit bigger to stick the screw through so that I could then stick the music box handle on. Now before I actually screwed this in place and glued it all in place and everything like that, I also put some of these gears that have a larger hole onto the hole that I was going to stick the music box part through. And I kind of built up around, or underneath that I should say. And these are just buttons I got at my local Michael's for like $6 for a giant bag of them. So then I just went ahead and made this little pattern out of gears to kind of make it look a little bit more steampunk. And then because the event we were going to was actually on St. Patrick's Day, I decided to stick some foam board in the bottom and then kind of shove these flowers in there. And these are just like 3-leaf clovers and 4-leaf clovers and little leprechaun hats and everything like that, just to kind of give it a more St. Patrick's Day vibe. And also, down here at the bottom, I don't know if you can see, this little thingy right here is actually a battery pack. So I wanted to add even more to this, so I took some Dollar Tree leaf-shaped lights. Let's see if I can pull one out here. There we go. Just these little lights right here. And I just put those down there. And I just strung it around back, through the back of the wings. And then that way, all I have to do is switch on the light, and it lights up. And this was just to add a little bit extra to it, because I knew I already had the music box, but I wanted something extra, so I just added lights to it. And that's pretty much all I did for these wings anyways. And what's good about this is because if you want to, you can just pull these out and pull the lights out and just change it for a different holiday. You can add little bunnies or little like Easter-y type flowers, and maybe some pink lights in there if you want to do an Easter theme or anything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I did for the wings. So they just look like that. And I won't lie, these are a bit heavy, but I didn't really mind it all that much. I was completely fine with their weight. But if you don't like heavy things, I would go maybe with a different method. I think the box on the back also kind of added a lot to the weight factor because it is a metal box. Also, it wants to start up. If you find that your wings are separating a little bit too much, like the bottom wing is separating from the top wing a little too much for your liking, I actually went and hot glued right along here and then just kind of stuck them together. That way they kind of made one solid wing almost. That way they weren't like, you know, one going this way and one going this way. It just looks weird. So if you're having problems with that, yeah, just glue them together and they should be fine. But yeah, so these are my Steampunk Fairy wings. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you would like to become part of our little cosplay family here, go ahead and subscribe and ring that little bell for notifications for whenever I upload. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!